Are you looking to add some light pulling volume to your current program? If yes, let's talk about the stiff-legged deadlift. The SLDL, or the stiff-legged deadlift, is a deadlift variation that again starts from the floor that puts the lifter in a very difficult pulling position at the start. The reason for this is that it removes essentially the quads from the exercise, which in a conventional deadlift is the thing that initiates the bar moving off the floor. Because of the omission of the quads, this really emphasizes the glutes and the hamstrings and makes setting the low back really difficult at the beginning. This is where a lot of the benefit comes from. Now, the great thing when learning how to pull the SLDL is that the setup for it is exactly the same as our 5-step setup for the deadlift, except we're gonna omit step 3, which is bringing the shins to the bar. Now remember, stiff-legged can be kind of a misnomer because not everybody can keep their legs absolutely stiff or straight when executing this exercise. The idea is to use as little knee flexion as is necessary just to be able to get the bar and grip it at the beginning, and no more than that. So let's have a look at how to do these things. Now, as I said before, the setup is identical to our conventional deadlift. We're 1 inch away from the bar. With stiff knees, if possible, we're gonna take a grip just outside of our shins, and then we would typically in a deadlift set our shins to the bar. This is the step we're gonna skip. Now remember, a lot of people can't keep their knees absolutely straight or stiff and still take the barbell. I can, so we'll do it this way, but if you can't, if you're stuck, let's say here mid-shin, you can bend your knees a little bit, of course, but no more than is necessary to get the barbell. The idea is to have the hips higher than they would typically be and really overload the glutes and the hamstrings when doing this. So I'm gonna take our typical setup, bar 1 inch away from the shins. Now I'm gonna keep my legs stiff, take a grip outside the shins. I'm gonna skip bringing my shins to the bar, but I'm gonna keep my knees back, vertical shins if I can. The difficult bit now is to set the back with tight hamstrings. Now remember, at first, it's okay to have a little bit of slop in that low back. You might not be able to get the back exactly set as flat as you want. That will typically loosen up as the hamstrings get warm from rep to rep. So, stance, grip, knees stay back. I'm gonna take a big breath, squeeze my chest, get my back as flat as I can. Flat, hamstrings are tight. Pull to the lockout, finishes at the top. Set it down. We're gonna keep our legs stiff. Squeeze the chest, hamstrings are tight. Pull, hips through, and set it back down. Setting your back in a conventional deadlift is difficult enough as it is because the hamstrings and the low back are in a war over control of your pelvis. Now this is made even more difficult in the SLDL because the hips are higher, the hamstrings are longer, and thus there's more tension. So if you have a hard time setting your back normally on a conventional deadlift, the SLDL can help you learn how to set your back even harder under more duress, which carries over well when you can allow that forward knee travel when the bar's back in a conventional pull. The way we typically program this in our gym is to do some extra pulling volume on a lighter day. Remember, taking the forward knee travel out on step 3, the deadlift, takes the quads out. And when you remove a big chunk of muscle mass from already difficult exercise, it makes it even harder, and the weights have to drop accordingly. Much like the RDL, don't overdo these at first because it overloads the hamstrings so much it can make you very sore when you first learn how to pull these. Now, as far as deadlift variation goes, you don't see the SLDL as commonly as you would see an RDL or Romanian deadlift, but they can be very valuable when used properly. Give it a try and see how it works for you in your program. If you'd like to learn how the barbell can transform your body and literally change your life, there's no better place to be than right here with us at Brussels Barbell. Strength matters. Find yours with us.